back to another episode of the Crypto Classroom. It's your boy, JT Knows Things, and my co host, Steve Wolterman. This podcast is for you. We are hedge fund managers. We own and operate a fund out of Cincinnati, Ohio called Bleeding Edge Capital. We raise money and deploy it into the crypto space. And we made this podcast to teach you the fundamentals that have made us successful in this space. We are discretionary long and value investors. So if you've been looking for a podcast that explains the technology simply and helps you understand the time frames and the expectations that you should have when you're in this space, and you're looking for a place of very robust information and a calm energy. We want you to understand the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of this market can cause a lot of emotional decision making, which is not ideal. So we want you to understand the fundamentals. We want you to follow the number one rule in investing, okay? That is to understand your investment. So sit down, get out a notepad, get a pen ready, and learn alongside Steve as I teach him basic technological principles of why we love blockchain, crypto, everything computer science as it pertains to this industry. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get right to it.
Hi, welcome to Crypto Classroom. We're your co-hosts. I'm Steve Wolterman. This is Jake Tolis. Sometimes we'll call him JT. Together, we are part of a company, Bleeding Edge Capital. And Bleeding Edge Capital is a GP and a crypto hedge fund. About a year ago, I met JT. My background, I have a small law firm. I'm an attorney, practicing mostly business tax and real estate, but I met JT, became fascinated with crypto, convinced him to put together a fund, and we've done such, and on our way now. With regard to that fund, I'm responsible for legal and operations, but JT is the head of all strategy, makes all the investment decisions. And this podcast is not about the fund, but is rather educational. And I know a lot of people that I talk to, I feel like are me, who want exposure to crypto, want to learn about it, but where do you start if you don't have the software expertise background or a technical background? So over the last year, just everything I've learned from JT, we're going to try to recreate some of these podcasts and be able to ask questions and have him educate us. I think a lot of people, as I said, like me, will find a lot of value in this.
Hey guys, before we get into the episode, I want to remind you that we are a discretionarily long fund. That means the time frames or time horizons that could be referenced in this episode, the shortest period would be 3 months, and at most we're talking about 5 years here. So when you hear about a new development or trying to understand the fundamentals we discuss in these episodes, just relax and have the perspective that this will not play out for an extended period of time, and you have time to do something about the information you learned here today. And speaking of that information, some awesome disclosures. We are not financial advisors. Nothing in this episode or any other episode you may hear from Bleeding Edge Capital could be construed as financial advice, life advice, or any other form of advice. We are simply here for educational purposes. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Crypto Classroom. Today, we have an exciting guest, Eric McHugh. He is from Los Angeles, and he is a Web3 founder with a very interesting product that we thought you guys should learn about and get more familiar with, and really try to understand a legitimate use case for some of the technologies we've talked about in previous episodes. So with that, Eric, if you want to give yourself an introduction and just tell the audience a little bit about yourself and the company you have and what you're doing, that'd be great. We'd love to hear from you.
Cool. Sounds good, JT. And thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it. Nice to meet everyone. My name is Eric McHugh. I'm 30 years old. I'm blessed to be living in beautiful Southern California, LA. My main hobbies right now are Muay Thai, chess, reading and meditation. Just got back from a 10-day noble silence Vipassana meditation retreat in the desert. Would highly recommend it. It's a game changer. In terms of career and college, I went to school at the University of California, Irvine. During that time, I interned as a project manager in Barcelona, as well as in DC as a government affairs consulting intern. And I'm sure you all just scoffed at that. But right after college, my first job was at Snapchat, helping them design their ad algorithm. And the main reason I took that, to be honest, is because right out of college, Snapchat's campus is on Venice Beach, and their format is pretty cool. What they do is they bought a bunch of different houses, so it's like house hopping to different pods to do different type of work with different groups. So I thought that was a fun little experiment.
That's cool. Yeah.
After that ended, again, I was still after college looking for a job, like a full-time career, and then I stumbled upon bankruptcy consulting for Fortune 500 companies. And the reason I took that job is, again, after college, like, oh, consultant sounds cool, right? Well, not so much. Just like with FTX and BlockFi, with the bankruptcy consultant firm, what happens is like a Fortune 500 company goes bankrupt. They have a bunch of debt. And as we all learn from, again, FTX and BlockFi, the creditors and the people, there you get the last line. They're the unsecured lenders. They get pennies on the dollar for what they're actually owed. And so ironically, during that time, my main task was just to like do work for the company. You bill out hours. My firm was happy because I'm billing out hours, but so I'd find myself just listening to podcasts all day because I could. And that's when I really started going down the cryptocurrency rabbit hole. So that's when I was listening to like 5 hours a day of like Andreas, Saifedean, Stefan Lavara, old school Richard Hart. And ironically, me and my friend were getting at the same time. So we were sending tips. He'd tell me when he bought Bitcoin, I'd be like, he bought 500, he bought 500. Well, I have to buy 550. And then we have like a SAT off, as we call it. And yeah, so that was happening while I was a bankruptcy consultant rent seeking, which obviously that doesn't really align with the ethos of Bitcoin.
Right.
So I waited for my bonus just because obvious reasons. Quit right after that without a plan, and then started going to cryptocurrency meetups in Los Angeles just because this is a field I want to be in. I spend all my mind power thinking about Bitcoin. Like at that time, I was a full maxi, so I'm thinking about Bitcoin. So I started going to cryptocurrency meetups. I met the original members of the ShopX team, and keep in mind, this is around 2016, 2017, before the 2017 pump and dump. So we met the original ShopX team, and we've been working on that ever since out of a VC incubator in Santa Monica. During the downturn, we spun off a side SaaS platform, and that platform was called Polymer Carvev. We switched names as startups do, and that replaced affiliate codes for Shopify brands. So if you're a brand, you're on Shopify, you can upload your products with a discount and commission. And then us as users, like for example, if I like Nike, I like Adidas, I like Reebok, I'd be like, oh, this Reebok shoe, this Nike hat, this Adidas shirt. I put them in one singular link, and then either of you could purchase that product. I get a commission, you get a discount product, brand gets a sale, everyone's happy, conversions are high just because it's on one link, it's within the platform. We cut clicks down to 4. So that was a secret sauce for that one. But yeah. And then that had its little, not like a mini exit, but who cares about that? But the important part is that really primed me for A, dealing with affiliate programs, and B, dealing with Web2 e-commerce brands and helping them onboard it onto ShopX. So the main star of the show, ShopX. When you think of ShopX, I want you to think of the Google or Apple of Web3. And I know that's like a gimmicky startup line because, hey, it is a gimmicky startup line.
Everyone's a unicorn, man. How you going to get to $1 billion is probably one of the first questions you get in your area, right?
Yeah, actually, that is actually one of the first questions we get. You're right. Yeah. Everyone is a unicorn, and through a tangent I view as everyone is different, everyone is equal, everyone's their own special butterfly, everyone has their own special talents. Everyone, maybe not Gary, but everyone do them. But
sure.
So ShopX, multiple products to help brands onboard onto Web3. And to keep things simple, right now we have 2 products live. The first is ReserveX. That is a NFT powered loyalty program. And the reason a brand like for example, like Fox Studios, one of our clients, Mag Park, or any e-commerce brand would want to create an NFT powered loyalty program because it's a super powered loyalty program. Meaning like once you have the NFT, you see an increase in conversions, you see an increase in brand loyalty. They start talking about you nonstop. So think about like how annoying Bored Apes are on Twitter, but apply that to a brand.
Right.
Yeah.
I real quick, what blockchain did you guys decide to build this ShopX platform on top of? What smart contract platform?
We chose Ethereum, and if like again, we're an adaptable company, meaning if something better comes up, we're happy to switch. But right now, and at the time, Ethereum was the call.
For the audience's benefit, why did you choose Ethereum, against Avalanche or, Hedera or some other kind of blockchain or smart contract platform, ADA, Solana, things like that? Why did you pick Ethereum?
We were in talks with the AVAX team for a while, and something could have happened, but like things never just pan out. We chose Ethereum because it was the most decentralized at the time. And personally, I'm a big believer in layer twos. We'll see if they work. And I guess to add more color on that question or just elaborate more, one of the future products for ShopX is SourceX. And what that could do and will do, we've already spec'd it out, is attach and again, I just want to reiterate, this product is not live right now. It's merely drafted. We just started development, but that was the core of ShopX when it started. So SourceX is attaching a ENFT to each individual product SKU. So let's say you're Nike, you have 1 million SKUs, you attach an ENFT to each product SKU. And to do that, like
what's a SKU?
Oh man, it's a unit. It's a code that is directly correlated to a product. So if you buy I forget what the acronym is, but if you were to buy that coaster right there, whoever sold it to you has a unique identifier for that product type, which is just like a 20-character string code, if you would, or 30-character string. It really just depends. Okay. Amazon probably has a 100-character string for a SKU. I have no idea. Yeah, you get it. It's a way for systems and databases to identify a product that's in the real world moving from place to place. Okay. Essentially.
And yeah, it's a little known fact, but tracking product SKUs on the back end it's a giant mess. It's highly ineffective. A lot of times they're reused. So for example, your shirt SKU, they could scan it, it could be like a computer or something. So what we wanted to do was attach a ENFT to each individual product SKU. So all products appear on the blockchain. So think of like that scene from The Matrix where Neo summons all the guns. That could happen in NFT world, and anyone could sell the products to you and earn a commission. And the reason this could potentially be, and again, we're all in future talk right now, the way this could be valuable for a brand, and let's use Nike as an example, is I'm Nike, I create my product SKU, someone purchases that, I see that wallet has that, they sell once, twice, thrice, I can track that product throughout its whole life cycle. And with the NFTs, I can program myself a royalty. And from the customer side, I can track that product back to Nike because Nike has an authentication problem, meaning a bunch of people have Nike knockoffs. So you can track it all the way back.
So this is like if you have a cool pair of Nikes, some Jordans, real expensive, somebody can buy them, sell them, to other people, sell them to other people, and Nike can get a royalty on all of those sales, and then all the people can track it back and know that Nike, it's a true Nike, it's not a knockoff. Okay, that's super cool.
Provides authenticity. Yeah, especially with China, they do a lot of a lot of fraudulent products.
And yeah, just so you know, the way a lot of fraudulent products are made is, let's say there's a company factory. During the day, they have 2 8-hour shifts that produce the authentic product. At nighttime, let's say the factories, let's be real, it's usually in some cheap country, they need the money. At that point in time, the factory workers or someone would lend out time of the factory to a third party. So the third party will be using in this example, the Nike factory, producing very similar knockoffs. So that's really how this works. And if you want to really dive into this is double future talk. In the metaverse, let's say I purchase my Nike product, I have my metaverse avatar. The ENFT is the perfect thing to transfer over to the metaverse. I get my Snoop Dogg glasses, Snoop Dogg supports me, my avatar gets those Snoop Dogg glasses, and then since that ENFT is a NFT, I can get token gated access to like the Snoop lounge in the metaverse. And for your listeners, token gating just means restricted access to NFT holders. And on the flip side, if I purchase a product in the metaverse, like I go to the Nike metaverse store, obviously I personally think we're way off from something like this. When I purchase my Nike product from the Nike Metaverse store, my ENFT then is deposited into my MetaMask wallet or my crypto wallet per usual. And then I go to the Nike store. And then on the live store, that product is token gated on the front end, meaning if you don't have it scans for the ENFT. If I don't have that NFT, then I don't get access to the product. So that was a nice little tangent, but it's always fun to talk about.
Right. And just for the audience's education here. So like what happens if I try to go into Snoop's Lounge without an NFT showing that I bought his glasses in the real world? What happens?
Access denied. So the way ShopX designed our software is we want to keep it as simple as possible. So to keep it as simple as possible, we want it to work with the brands first and foremost, but we also want it to work directly with Shopify. So with a brand, let's say, for example, the Mag Park, they token gate, they're a hat company in LA. They token gate some of their products to NFT holders. If I have the pink mocha pass, I can get access to some of the products where if you would try to purchase that hat, a screen would come up saying, hey, do you have this NFT pass? If you do, great, you continue the checkout. If not, access denied. And the reason this is important is we don't mess with anyone's payment methods, meaning whatever payment structure you already have set up as a brand, you're good to go. And another cool fact is, as a brand, whatever like retention emails you have set up, like for example, you start the checkout flow, you have a retention email to keep your customer coming back. We don't mess with any of that. We just simply token gate the checkout process.
Got it. That's super interesting. Yeah. I kind of want to rewind maybe 5 to 10 minutes just to understand something a little bit more clear. How do you link a sale of a product, like let's say Nike in this example, they sell the newest Air Jordans. I'm not a sneaker guy. I'm barefoot right now. I do not like shoes. Okay. So
me neither, dude.
Yeah. I figured if you're meditating,
Oh, walk it on. Solid.
Yeah, I stay grounded.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's say I wanted to buy that sneaker. How would an NFT get to my wallet if I'm just checking out like I would normally,
If you don't mind, I can just walk you through the whole brand minting process on the customer side, and that just kind of ties everything together pretty nicely.
Yeah, the end users understanding how they could use this day to day and how it's more beneficial than a standard purchase of a Nike product. I think that might help them understand the difference and how Web3 is more impactful than Web2,
Yeah. So imagine this. You as a wonderful user, you create a super wonderful store on Shopify or WooCommerce. You download the ShopX app from your WooCommerce or Shopify store. From within the app, you create a ShopX account, and now you have access to ReserveX. ReserveX is that NFT program or NFT loyalty program we mentioned earlier. You don't know what an NFT is, you don't know how to code, that's not a problem. If you wanted to create a high-powered loyalty program with ReserveX, all you would have to do is fill out 2 simple forms that take less than 5 minutes. And I'm kind of on the tech side, and I'm not even kidding you, but during QA, my grandma was able to do that. So you log into ReserveX.
That's dope. Yeah, that's good.
Like the only information you need is like a name for your pass, whatever image you want, a description, a price, how many passes you want minted, how many passes per wallet. And I would say the most crypto-y part of this whole process is you as a brand, you need a wallet to get paid. So you put your wallet in, the address you want to get paid, and you could split that up. So if you're a brand, you're working with like an influencer, like LeBron and Nike do a LeBron pass, they split up 50-50, LeBron's an incentivized to sell the pass. You input all that information. On the back end, your smart contract is getting deployed, but you don't need to know that. You click deploy, and then from there, you get a landing page, like a simple URL, where your customer can then mint their NFT with credit card or with MetaMask or crypto. So if you want to, if you're having to Web3, you can just mint it in normal methods. But if not, and we've learned this from past clients, is credit card is super helpful.
Yep.
So your pass is deployed. It's directly within your Shopify e-commerce store. So all your Shopify e-commerce products are within your store linked to the pass. So you have a screen with saying like pass A, pass B, pass C, and then you just click add products. And then you can select which products to add. So you have like product A for a week, product B for 2 weeks. So you can select the time frame. So you as a brand could say product A is only token holders can own that product. Product B, token holders get early access, meaning like they get it for a week before everyone else gets a week after in case they sell it. And product C everyone can just purchase the product. We also have a redemptions feature, meaning if you launch a product that's linked to like a low quantity product, like 50 hats, each token pass holder the pass is only good for one product.
Sure.
And then from you as a customer side, you want this hat, you want the e-commerce benefit that comes with NFT, you simply go to the URL we spoke about, and then you can either mint with Ethereum or you can mint with credit card. So we integrate with Crossmint. What's happening on the back end is you're technically purchasing Ethereum with credit card, depositing into the brand's wallet, but that's all happening on the back end. You as a customer don't see it. Just like, oh, buy credit card, MetaMask. You need a MetaMask, but then the wallet is then the NFT is deposited into your MetaMask once the credit card transaction is complete. And the cool thing about this is you as a customer, you own that NFT now. So the brand can do whatever they want with it. Like, for example, the Mag Park, what they're doing is they're continuously adding benefits to their pass holders. But if the brand wanted to like do a one-time product, they can do that as well. So for example, we were going to work with a TV show. They're pretty major. What they're going to do is a purchase NFT. You get a makeup kit. That's the makeup kit from the show for episode 1. Do your makeup in real time with whatever actress. So whatever e-commerce benefits, it's up to the brand. But the cool thing about this is it's NFT. It's your NFT. It's a loyalty pass that you own. You can think of a Costco card that you can pass down to your kids, or you can or if the Costco membership goes up, like the brand increases in value, you can sell it for a profit as well. That's totally up to you.
Right. So let me I feel like I jumped into the 4th week of a biochemistry class. And probably maybe other people I would imagine struggle following some of that. So real simply, from a customer standpoint, back to the shoe example, because I understood before the authentication, advantage of, having this NFT. I guess I really struggle on this. So let me ask, what's the advantage if I buy through ShopX and that system versus going into the store? And the loyalty programs we're talking about, like normally, if you go into Nordstrom and you've got a Nordstrom account, and you get discounts and whatnot. Like, what's the advantage of doing this through like Web3 versus how it is now? Like,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I would say the biggest advantage is the customer ownership factor, meaning it's a direct relationship to me and you. So if I'm the brand, you're the customer, we can continuously add value to each other.
Yeah.
So go into more detail about your store. Store example, let's say you wanted to go, and this is cool because this actually happened in real life. If, let's say hypothetically, the brand is offering a product, the product is super popular, it gets botted out within seconds, which is an unfortunate aspect of the market.
Yeah.
These NFTs completely block the bot. They completely block checkout bots, meaning as in the case of the Mag Park, bots would come in, swoop his inventory off in like less than a second, and then resell on the secondary market. And like the 16-year-old kid, 17-year-old kid who actually loves the brand, loves the product, they don't get it, or they're stuck paying 10 times for a product, which is kind of hard without a job. Now with the Pink Mocha and NFT pass, they're guaranteed access to the products.
Okay, I understand that. That's cool. And then from the store standpoint, I think I grasped that. You're issuing the NFT. It provides these benefits to the customers. It doesn't change how they pay, right? They don't have to pay using crypto or ETH or anything like that, right? It's whatever payment system.
Whatever. First off, having that'd be a tough sell, convincing a brand to let their customers pay the crypto. But no, it's whatever payment system they usually have set up. So if you have Parlay, it's good to go. Credit card, it's good to go. Whatever the brand set up, we don't mess with.
Okay. All right.
And so an additional benefit would be, let's say, because like loyalty programs, we'll go to like a Web2 version of it.
Yeah.
You go to UDF. This is one I use right now. I get 3 cents off a gallon for every $1 coffee I buy from them.
Right.
As long as I go to them and keep buying the coffee, I keep getting 3 cents off a gallon of gas. I drive a big old truck. I got 42 gallons in that thing. It really makes a difference for me in my life, right? The NFT, let's say they wanted to change the rate. Like right now, what they do is they have to tape, like literally rip up an advertisement to let me know what gives me more off, like 3 cents for coffee, 2 cents for, and the products rotate monthly and they always are chipping it off and putting it back, right? Just to inform me on my decisions and all this other stuff. And then they'll change the rates and they'll have a summer special. They do all this stuff.
And you're seeing this in person.
This is what's happening in my life right now in reality. Web2 company doing a loyalty program, right? Someone that does not use Web3 technology at all.
Right.
With an NFT, in that same example, it could be I tap my phone on a device. I swipe my credit card. Okay. And this doesn't directly correlate to what he's working on, but this is like the end state of the use case he's using, right?
Yeah.
Like, as an example. You tap your phone, you swipe your card. Let's say it's $25 for a lifetime membership, and you mint the NFT right there at the UDF. From that day on, they can.
And sorry, you mint the NFT.
Yeah, you can tap the phone like Apple Pay.
But just say it again, what it means to mint the NFT.
Literally, it'd be like clicking checkout on Shopify.
Okay.
You're just buying an NFT right there.
Okay.
It'll be like one loyalty program. That's like what will be on the screen, your POS, on top of the coffee you just bought. Pay for all of it. As long as this device, in theory, in the future, as long as it was running on Quant, that would be a good one, or some other kind of operating system that was compatible with a wallet technology. You just slap it, your wallet's already on your phone, NFT goes to your wallet when you're done.
Right. So in other words, you bought an NFT.
You bought an NFT.
Along with your coffee.
Along with the coffee.
And the NFT is this membership program.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
And it's in your virtual wallet, like your crypto and your exchange account or your MetaMask or whatever.
Any other time you go and buy something at UDF, it'll automatically apply whatever discount is running that month.
Right.
And then are you able to communicate? Like, is UDF able to communicate to its customers who have the NFTs in their wallet?
That's exactly where the next step goes. So it's the difference.
Keeping them informed of what.
Right now, I have it's in the car, but it's just a plastic card that I have to scan every time if I want to get the credit, right?
Right.
And not only to mention the benefit to UDF is if they wanted to change anything about that loyalty program, they could do it with the push of a button. You know, they could send out a notification system. I get a little push notification. Hey, just so you know, for summer, we're doing 5 cents off a gallon for gas. Or these 30 products, here's a list of all the products to give you, you know.
Yeah.
They could modify one push of a button, deploy it into the smart contract that monitors that NFT program. And then so it's way less time, way less energy, way more efficient. And the customer gets that value instantly, right? I don't have to like many times I've scanned the card, the POS won't even read it. I've checked the barcode. Like there's those are inconveniences, but it matters.
Do you think at some point, or maybe a question for Eric, that this kind of system will completely replace, issuing a plastic card or, a number that you got to key in for a membership program? And, for some period of time, I mean, people will start to adapt and adopt, crypto and, going through like an NFT platform like that. And some people won't. So UDF, in this example, would still, would roll out this program, but still have physical, stickers on products to let, the people that are using the NFT. But at some point, we think that it'll completely replace.
I just want to say something real quick. I'm sure I'll have a very good answer. Like, when it does replace it, you will not know. Like, it'll be a standard. You won't know that an NFT is being minted. You won't know. Like, that user experience is bad, and it will not exist when it happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thoughts. I'm sure Eric has a take.
Oh no, dude, you're hitting the nail on the head right now. Crypto UI, everything about crypto UI, it's honestly terrible. I can't send other than ShopX, but I can't send my grandma to like MetaMask to find for example, it's like imagine sending a non-crypto person to try to bridge something. Where's my money? Oh, it disappeared. You have to find Reddit. So for Web3 to be successful, what JT said about everything is complete on the money. Meaning, for example, to purchase NFT, and we are talking to some cool companies like ETHSign, I think ETHPass, something ETH, where they're working with adding NFTs like Apple and Google Wallet. So there we go. Like the NFT could you click buy, you purchase NFT with like a stable coin like we were talking about yesterday. The NFTs automatically deposit in your wallet and just kind of do everything with clicks, just like tap. And I think it might be important to highlight the differences between Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3 just for the listeners because it really does matter. So when
I
you
know.
think,
I say it all the time, brother. We probably have not one episode where I don't walk people through the evolution of the internet from 1954 to today. Yeah. I'm sure, I don't know if they love hearing it or not, but yeah,
oh
you're
no,
more than welcome to show the separation.
I'm sure we're going to use the same example that everyone uses, the read write. Do they know the read write example?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No,
No, I'm a little bit more detail oriented.
Yeah.
I go through like ARPANET,
Oh,
like the Department of Defense contracts when Oracle came about in the late 60s, early 70s. I kind of go through all the different players that have built the internet we take for granted today. And then, that's kind of like interconnected networks. And then after that, we have the Internet of Information. That's kind of like, Web 1 right there, the commercial use of the internet in 1989. And then Web 2 is the social paradigm. Now you have social notoriety and you live online, right? And then Web 3 is we're going to move value the same way we move information and social notoriety. It's like an evolution of.
yeah, T, I would love to download some of the stuff that's in your mind, but let me just try to simplify it. And this is why again I work on my own. But like Web one, read only, meaning all three of us could read content on the web. Web
Yep.
two, read and write, meaning I could read content. We can write our own content like this podcast. Think Instagram, think Facebook, think whatever social media platform. The downside with that is it's centralized, and this is clearly a problem right now where any one of us could get canceled for anything we say. What's even worse is 10 years down the line, they could something that we say, okay, now, like, I'd be like, hey, you guys are two dudes. That could be not okay. 10 years down the line, they could retroactively cancel and then the mob could get you. Web three is read, write, and own. So we can read content, we can write content, and we can own the content. So if I launch a NFT project or an NFT collection, you purchase that, it's a connection between me and you. No one can cancel this. And this is a powerful example. So something I would love to see is imagine you're a up and coming artist. Steve, you look like a rapper. It's your first show.
Yeah.
Um, Me, JT, and like 10 of our friends are visiting your show. We're here for support. We're like, yeah, go Steve the rapper. Terrible rap name. But then so we have your NFT as in the form of a ticket, or you sell us an NFT. 20
Yeah.
years down the line, we sell an NFT, we're still connected. Steve the rapper is the shit. Main stage Coachella is like, you guys were there from day one. And then you can airdrop us benefits like, oh, here's some backstage patches, here's some autographed merch, here's some other
Yeah, I get
brands.
that.
It's a connection between me and you.
I am a rapper. I'll hook you up with this.
Oh yeah.
I would
I
love to hear you
I
drop some more.
yeah, and read right on. That's
I really like that. That's
Yeah.
simple. It's a different perspective on it, but I
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
yeah, I can get my hands around that. Back to another step. You were saying, did you say that Fox News was a client?
Yeah, so
Like what? Can you just
Fox
do a quick example of like, because I get like a physical product like shoes. You're buying these things. What I don't see Fox News as buying items, right? That's
not
what's the advantage people get for that?
not Fox News. A couple of Fox's intellectual properties, Krapopolis and Mass Singer, mainly Krapopolis, are using NFT technology
Okay.
to
Okay.
build a relationship and a community with their fans. So for if you again, everyone check out Krapopolis. It's the same creator of Rick and Morty. It's pretty funny. Their NFT collections are called the Crap Chickens, which obviously are kind of shitty and fun to play around with. I am a personal Crap Chicken holder, so I can vote on the show. I get access to exclusive content. In the future, I'll be able to purchase merch with the Crap Chicken holder with my Crap Chicken. So it's a way to build a relationship with the fan base. And
Okay.
they were able to launch this collection prior to the release of the show, which built hype, built a community. So going into the show, they're coming in strong.
Yeah.
And now, since I'm a Crap Chicken holder, like I honestly don't watch too much TV, but I own NFTs. I'm like, I own this NFT. I'm gonna watch the show.
Sure.
Right.
It's a more intimate connection with with a brand because, like, also, I have a shit ton of NFTs in my wallet. I like just looking at them sometimes. I don't know why. I just like knowing that
It's
Yeah.
like
they're mine. It's like it's mine. Like I know empirically that this is mine, and it's not. And it's just a digital picture. But once you understand the technology of NFTs, there's a really good, like, you get a pride of ownership almost, like you're a collector of baseball cards or something, probably back, in your generation. Like,
Yeah.
you just have like this book and you keep them laminated. You just like looking at them. And it's the same thing for, I guess, right now, us computer science nerds. But eventually, that's a human nature thing. It's just got to be more, it has to have a better experience because right now
It's
like he
ass.
said, bridging an asset. I've been doing this 10 years. It makes you want to jump off a cliff.
Yeah.
It's awful. Yeah. We have to do better as an industry in that regard.
Yeah.
But with
Otherwise it'll fail.
CCIP, it may not matter now, which is going to be an episode we do whenever we're done with guests today.
What was it?
CCIP.
I'm personally looking forward to that episode because what you were talking about yesterday was like mind blowing. So
What is CCIP?
Yeah, so for those listening, if you want to know what that is, it's called it's Chain Link. It's an asset that I'm very bullish on for a lot of reasons. We're going to do an episode on it, but what they've essentially done is built a internet protocol. Like that episode we talked about SMTP, right?
Yes.
Simple Message Transfer Protocol.
Yeah.
So CCIP is an internet protocol they built and own. It is cross-chain interoperability protocol. So they have created a messaging system that anyone can build on that allows you to communicate between blockchains regardless of code base, and also it's SWIFT compliant. So Web2 companies like Chase Bank or anything else that, all of their messaging and value systems, right? They go to the DTCC, they go through all their.
It sounds like a big breakthrough. Well, I know that
it's insane.
We're gonna have an episode on that. But
Yeah,
is there a quick real world example of?
Yeah, so inside of 3 minutes right now, like if Chase wanted to use this technology in your checking account, you could just click a button and turn your US dollars, like your paycheck, into a stable coin and then move it to a money market account. And it's like a compound 7-8%. Maybe it's a flash pool. Or something like that, where you're getting really good yield, and none of that you would not even understand what's happening. You would literally, like Eric's grandma, for example, if that's his QA guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She could literally just go into the Chase app, click a button, and it'd be like, oh yeah, earn 7%. She'd be like, yeah, I want to do that. Click. And what's happening is her dollars are turning into stable coins, going into compound, then coming back every month as a return. CCIP is going to carry the messages to make that happen and the value transfer between all the chains to make that happen.
And it allows Chase to be able to offer that with any platform. Correct.
It's like SMTP, right? That protocol was built by open source developers in the community. There was no way to get equity or investment from it.
Right.
But AOL came around, built a company on top of that protocol and made billions of dollars. And then now there are tens of trillions of dollars of companies using SMTP to this day, 40-something years later.
Right.
Chainlink has created the same kind of Gibraltar of a technology that is on the internet forever now. And they are capturing value by exchanging these messages.
I just have to remind the audience, and this was powerful for me an episode or two ago, but with the SMTP email, essentially, this version, if you invest in this asset, you would literally own possibly down the road what is the new email, right?
Yeah, email for value.
Right.
Correct.
And then it kind of goes into read, write, own.
Yeah. You would own a piece of a protocol that adds that third iteration of internet where you can own now. Yeah. Owning it insinuates property rights, which is Ethereum or some other kind of blockchain with the 721 standard. But then you also have the ownership of value too, where you can validate and prove that I own this and it's worth what I paid for because of the ledger and everything.
So it's like getting ownership at such the ground level of a technology that could change.
I tell you right now, the day I read it and I read the case study from the Bank of New Zealand with Chainlink, right?
Yeah.
I know we're going a little off topic, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah. This is exciting for me, but I changed our allocation. I dropped 6 assets, picked up more Link. Officially, it made it an A asset. I think it's it's profound what they've done. They're first to market by over a year.
We'll hammer that in another episode.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, for the delineation there.
No, dude. When you told me about that yesterday, I feel like stuff like that should be shared with the audience. So, this New Zealand thing, I was like, oh, damn. So I'm also looking into it as like based on JT's non-financial advice.
Right, never financial advice.
Correct.
But you can listen to the right from the horse's mouth, everyone. Bankless is my favorite podcast. They're easily the most reputable, the largest. The founder, one of the founders of Chainlink, was on there for 90 minutes talking about his release of CCIP. They've been building it in stealth mode for almost 2 years. It's like 18 months, something like that. And they released it in July 20th. Case study came out in August, September timeframe with the Bank of New Zealand. That's their first official customer. And now they've touched almost $100 billion of value. So, I mean, they're just, and that's why Chainlink has almost doubled in price in the past year, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
I'm sure it's outperforming Bitcoin
Which sometimes isn't too hard to do.
it's very difficult in a bear market.
Oh yeah.
It's in a bull market, that's easy.
Yeah. Yes.
Dogecoin did it. Solana did it. Like, I mean, so many have done it, but in a bear market, it's the cream, you know?
Oh yeah, because and again, not financial advice, no one knows what's happening, but in the bear market, like Bitcoin starts as the source and they expand to the alts where, it's expansion and contraction.
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely. Well, Steve, have you learned something about ShopX and Eric's mission here? Is there anything that you want to ask before we close it out?
No, I have. I mean, it is this world is complicated for sure for people who aren't, don't have the technical background. But no, I mean, I think understanding, benefits of, comparing it to how it works today, walking into a store and, what really hit with me was probably if I'm selling a really valuable pair of Nikes down the road, you don't have the authentication problems. You know where it was made, when it was made, it's real. And then people down along that chain, I think they all get, if you can get royalties, right, as it's sold and sold and sold, that's pretty cool. You could build a business out of that alone.
Absolutely.
Going around and, my stepmom has a business, and she's kind of like an eBay business where she goes around to thrift stores and, she finds these gems that she'll pick up, whether it's clothes or furniture. And, she picks up these items for a few bucks, but she knows they're more valuable. She'll sell them for several hundred. Kind of something like that would be super benefited, right? By this. Yeah. Because as people continue to sell that, she could keep getting royalties. Again, the authentication. So yeah,
how she set up her store. Maybe Eric could help her. Maybe she could be a customer of ShopX. I don't know how technical she is, but it sounds like it's pretty user friendly.
Yeah.
Maybe you could come back and she could come in and we could actually set her up.
Yeah, if that happened, that would be a super cool.
That'd be fun.
Real world example of I think everybody can grasp her, her business.
Yeah.
And what happens to it if she.
I think that could be valuable to the audience. Like someone actually watching someone go onto Web3, kind of demystify it. Like it's literally just going to websites but it sounds intimidating and foreign.
It absolutely sounds intimidating.
Right. But once I think doing it and having we can get a screen share going for people and just watch her doing it.
Yeah.
So how old is she?
She's, I believe, 67, 68.
Dude, that would be awesome. I think we should do that. Would you be down to come back for that?
Yeah, I'd be pretty down. Let's set that up at some point. That'd be chill.
Yeah. That would be.
Yeah, just because having someone actually show the process is 1,000 times more powerful than telling someone about the process.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and that's really what we want this to be. It's a classroom. We want people to come in and learn something. If they're not learning something, I feel like we're just wasting their time. So that's kind of our promise to our audience here. So we will bring that to you guys at a certain other point. We will get Eric on the books for that. And then kind of like my last question for guests is going to be, put your future cap on. You can't say anything crazy. I'm sure I've already thought of how crazy it could be. 5 to 10 years. How do you see this playing out? Like the technology in general, how advanced or how adopted do you think it is?
Yeah, so the way I look at it is I look at it kind of like a curve like this, where we're at the very beginning stages of the curve, meaning for Web3 to be mass adopted, like we mentioned earlier, all of us need to be using it without knowing we're using that. And if anyone knows anything about where we're at in crypto right now, we're extremely far off from that in terms of technology. Downloading a MetaMask, dealing with private keys is just it's unreasonable for like a Steve's grandma to set that up. But the reason I'm so optimistic about this is we've been seeing bigger brands like the Nikes, the ESPNs, like just a bunch of big brands like fashion brands who aren't really into Web3 get into the space. And with them, they bring their customers. And they're not going to bring their customers into the shit show we have in terms of UI for crypto right now. So they have incentive to make it easy for their own customers to use. So I think they're going to start the education process at scale, meaning like they're good. Like, for example, if Sephora wanted, again, just selling out Sephora and Nike, if they want to use a Web3 program at scale, they have to build it themselves. And now they're incentivized to do so. So I think and once the Nike builds a Web3 program, it does well, Adidas, Reebok have to follow suit. So it kicks off a wave of mass adoption, and it all starts with ease of use for the customer. So now all incentives are aligned to make it easy. Because before, like in DeFi, like think about like DeFi Summer or anything in crypto, it could be janky because like JTR will figure out how to use it just because we actually really want to use it, but no one else will. But that is no longer the case if we want the masses to join. So I'd say 5 years. I'd say 5 years out is when we start to see. Well, I don't know about 5 years out because JT, honestly, what you mentioned about chain, they could really speed things up. And I'm here to learn too. This is a classroom. Thank you for sharing that bit of information with me.
Yeah.
But I would say 5 years out is when we start to see tap, tap, tap. 3 taps is you need to tap with your phone. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Wow.
5 years, I like it. I like the social perspective you have on it. My research is not in there. So it's cool to hear someone in the trenches.
And hearing you say, like these huge brands are getting into the space. I mean, is any of this like, I don't know what it was like in the late 80s and going into the 90s and Web 2, with like the big brands. What were they doing then? And were they anxious, to get into Web 2? Like, is the explosion of that, does that now, years later, say, how big and quick that took off? Is that bringing more people at this early stage, because there's confidence that there's going to be a huge change? Am I saying that right?
Yeah. So part of my process is retracing and comparing, the evolution of the internet from a market perspective, right, an economic perspective. So you look at the total market capitalization of all the tech companies back in from 89, early 90s when the charts usually start, 90 to present day. We're right now in around 93, 94. So like Microsoft just came out with an operating system, the Apple II computers like being thought of, it's like, oh, it's interesting, right? So, we're so early. Everything that we've discussed and that you hear me talk about literally will not even be like, it'll be like, why do you know that? Like no one will it won't matter.
Yeah.
We're talking about the depth. Like I just read an article from someone smarter than me saying that, Ethereum might have its broadband moment with layer 2 scaling. Broadband. Remember broadband?
I do.
Shit. It's garbage. That's how slow Ethereum is right now.
What are you saying? Like, this is like a big kind of a moment for me because I always in my mind I'm like, how am I? How's my father? He calls me 4 times a week, for passwords and how to change from cable to the streaming service. How are the massive people going to catch up on the technology? But you're saying the mass adoption is going to be when we don't even know we're using it. So that it doesn't require billions of people to understand anything.
Correct.
I don't know how I missed that before.
Well, that's just so you know. Our fund. Our fund is investing in the infrastructure before it becomes unknown.
Yeah.
So like the shit we're buying and talking about and researching and picking and raising capital for are things that are the foundation of this evolution of the internet. It's not, we're not trying to pick an application that just runs.
Right.
No offense to Eric, I'm not looking to invest in a company like him yet. I'm not doing venture capital.
Right.
But knowing that he used Ethereum, knowing that, where do you store, if this was a more technical call, I wouldn't know where he's storing everything, what stack he built his smart contracts on.
In the resources he's using.
We're investing in what he uses.
Right.
And what his development team uses. Because regardless of, if he's a massive success, and we want nothing but that for him, right? But it's a less probability than Ethereum increasing in value over time.
Right.
And no one will even, ideally, no one will know even what Ethereum is. Like your mom, your dad, they won't even know what network they're
They would
on.
have no chance.
No chance. And it wouldn't matter.
To understand.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter.
Well, that's huge.
Yeah.
That was a breakthrough for me. So I'm glad we did this.
Good.
Yeah.
Hopefully it was for the audience at home. That's the whole point. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for your authenticity, your honesty. That's not an easy thing to do. Cool. Eric, thank you so much for coming on and bringing us this information and being so thought-provoking today.
No, dude, honestly, guys, thank you so much for having me. It was a fun time. I truly hope your audience got something out of it. Shout out Steve, MVP of the show. You be goated. And again, JT, thank you for your mind is, I can tell from talking to you like twice, your mind's, it's like reminds me of, I don't know if you watch Yu-Gi-Oh, it's a nerdy reference, but the Pharaoh's puzzle mind type thing. So thank you for the chain link gem.
Yeah, whenever I lose eye contact, my brain's doing something.
Yeah.
Usually, when I have to look away and it's just moving real fast, but I'm excited about everything that's going on, man. I'm excited about what you got going on. I'm excited to see you grow. If you ever need anything, you have our numbers, and then we'll get that episode on the books next.
Yeah, I think that's a hell of an idea. I really do. I think that's
it'd be good for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll work on that.
We'll make that happen for everyone.
Eric, you're the man. Thank you for coming on.
You guys are the man. I appreciate it.
All
right. See ya.
All right.
Later.
Take care.
Welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Classroom. It's your boy, JT Knows Things, and my co-host, Steve Wolterman. This podcast is for you. We are hedge fund managers. We own and operate a fund out of Cincinnati, Ohio called Bleeding Edge Capital. We raise money and deploy it into the crypto space. And we made this podcast to teach you the fundamentals that have made us successful in this space. We are discretionary long and value investors. So if you've been looking for a podcast that explains the technology simply and helps you understand the time frames and the expectations that you should have when you're in this space, and you're looking for a place of very robust information and a calm energy. We want you to understand the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of this market can cause a lot of emotional decision making, which is not ideal. So we want you to understand the fundamentals. We want you to follow the number one rule in investing, okay? That is to understand your investment. So sit down, get out a notepad, get a pen ready, and learn alongside Steve as I teach him basic technological principles of why we love blockchain, crypto, everything computer science as it pertains to this industry. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get right to it. And I'm back to give you those sexy disclaimers. Everything in this cast should not be interpreted, cannot be interpreted as financial advice, legal advice, accounting advice, and pretty much any other advice that you may or may not be gleaning from the episode. We are simply documenting all of our research for an educational purpose only. We thank you so much for tuning in and your support. And until next time, see ya.